I'm one of these lucky people who always knew she wanted to be a scientist. And I think I realized that quite young when I loved animals, and all sorts of animals, poisonous animals, which are pretty abundant in Australia, which is where I grew up. And I used to pick them up, and my mother was just horrified, but I was fascinated by them. And I knew that in some form or other I wanted to study life, if you will. And then as a teenager, I got fascinated by biochemistry. Well, I work on the ends of chromosomes, and all of our genetic material is carried on the DNA in chromosomes. And the ends of chromosomes are particularly susceptible to degradation or fraying away. And so for many years I've been interested in how those ends get protected. There are special caps at the ends of chromosomes. We think of them as the little egglets, which are the plastic tips, if you will, or the metal tips at the ends of your shoelace. And telomeres, which are the ends of chromosomes, are like the egglets of our genome. What's become clear is that the ends of the chromosomes are constantly wearing down as we age, and we expect about 80 plus years of normal life, and during that time our chromosome ends are slowly wearing down. And there's now more and more signs that that may have impact on certain of the diseases that impact people as they get older. And telomerase plays a kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde role in our cells in our body. It does two things. It protects the ends of chromosomes by replenishing their DNA, and that has the effect of damping down the processes that lead to the very first stages of cancer progression. So that's of course a good Dr. Jekyll, if you remember. But Mr. Hyde, who's really the same person but a different face, is how we can think of telomerase in a cancer cell that's undergone all the other genetic changes that cancer cells undergo to become really hardened criminal cells. So I think part of being a scientist is, if one is driven by that or even sees fascination in it, then I would think that you should follow that, because there's a continual need for scientists. Everybody feels that we still need more scientists. A new kind of thing is happening in biology. A lot of areas of biology now are being synthesized together in ways that hadn't happened for many years. Many aspects of biology were walled off from each other and were separate sub-disciplines, and people never talked to each other. That's all changing. And that, to me, would make it a very exciting time to embark in biology, because suddenly things are possible that were never possible before. Teenagers, boys and girls, sometimes feel a little intimidated by science. Girls sometimes feel intimidated by the mathematics. And I would say, first of all, don't let anyone say that this is not a cool thing to do, that science is uncool, or math, which is such an important underpinning of science, is not cool. It's very exciting, and it turns out scientists tend to be very interesting people. I look at my research group and I just think what a marvelous bunch of exciting, interesting, intelligent people they are. So you're joining a very interesting group of people when you go into science. Scientists are fun. We've become very dependent as a society on scientific technology and know-how, and that can be intimidating to some. And I think it's very important for scientists to realize that although the research and the work takes place at a level of expertise that requires a lot of specialized language and communication among experts, actually most of the ideas are not that difficult to grasp and to explain if only one took the trouble. And I like to think that really people are not averse to hearing the complexities of science. And when you think about it, most people's lives are very complex. People make really complex decisions in their lives. They have a lot of complicated things going on in the circumstances of their lives, and they handle it. It's not as if we can't handle complexity.